Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony. Welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. So today, I don't know why. I was just thinking about the 2019 roster compared to the 2021 roster. In just 2 years, the team has changed a lot. Now I'm talking about the first unofficial depth chart of 2019 because we end up, making some moves. Kane Smith, Leonard Williams later in there. So the team got better as the year went on. But I was just looking at it and it's insane. So first, let's just start off with the head coach, because Pat Shurmur didn't motivate anybody to do anything. He was key in the development of Daniel Jones. I give him that. He had a lot of success with Daniel Jones, and we're questioning Jason Garrett because what Pat Shurmur did for him. But the rest of the coaching staff was just awful. And again, Pat Shurmur didn't motivate anybody. He's like a Dan Campbell. Like when he speaks, I just don't believe in him. Like what he's saying, I just don't. He's not motivating anybody. But then you take a look at the rest of the coaching staff. Hal Hunter was our offensive line coach. James Betcher. None of these guys have jobs. The Giants pluck guys from bad teams, players from bad team, coaches from bad teams. If you're a good coach or a good player, you're going to get a job. It doesn't matter where you're from. You're going to get a job. Eventually, I think Doug Peterson's going to get a job. But no assistants. Nobody got picked up. Let's get into the roster breakdown. This is the first unofficial depth chart. Let's start off with wide receivers. So Sterling Shepard, he's a good wide receiver too. Dan Jones now has more camaraderie with him, but Sterling Shepard, I think it was his third year. Good player. We wanted a little bit more out of him. There was a lot of hype behind him, but still a good player. Wide receiver 2, Golden Tate. Would he be a wide receiver 5, 6 on a roster right now? Then Benny Fowler, Russell Shepard, Cody Latimer. I think also we wanted Corey Coleman, but I think he tore his ACL. Darius Slayton as a rookie. He ended up having a good rookie season, but TJ Jones, Reggie White, Damari Scott. You take a look at it now, man, we think Dante Pettis is bad. He's a good player. He just needs a little more kick in the ass to, develop a little bit more. Kelvin Benjamin, we think we can get something out of him. Depends if you consider him a tight end or not. But we have, let's start off at the top. Let's start off with John Ross. Let's start off with Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, now Darius Slayton in his third year. And then we still have Sterling Shepard, who we think is a good player. I think he's expendable now. And the development has just been insane. And I think we also have some lower level. I think I'm forgetting some people, but man, our wide receiver core is insane right now. It's one of the best in the league. Well, we have to prove it. We have to prove it though. Next, let's talk about tight ends. Evan Ingram, he was dealing with injuries at this point, I think. Was that the injury year in 2019? It was he couldn't stay on the field. It was, and now this year is drops. But, but behind him, Scott Simonson, CJ Conrad, aging, no juice left, Red Ellison, Garrett Dickerson. Are you kidding me? And this year, Kyle Rudolph, who doesn't drop a ball in sight, is developing to a better run and pass blocker. Caden Smith, who I really like, but I'm is he going to get cut? Is he going to get cut because, Kyle Rudolph offers the same as he does? We had a Caden Smith later in the year, this year. He was drafted by the 49ers in the 6th round. And then we have to Levine Toilolo, who's a decent blocker. I broke him down. It's not great. I think Caden Smith is a better player. But wow, that's just a difference, man. It's just tight end. And obviously Evan Ingram now, he's more developed in the league. I think he's a better player than he was back then. He just needs to get a couple of the yips out, and maybe this year's play calling with every other player helps him out a little bit. Next, let's talk about the offensive line, the Hogs. We love Nate Solder. Now he's our third best tackle, I think, the best as far as pure ability. I think Matt Parrott's going to overwhelm him this year. He was the guy where, we need Nate Solder, and he kind of let us down. Played better at the end of the season, but as far as the beginning of the season, it's whoa. Then we had Chad Wheeler, who ended up beating up his girlfriend this year. He was no good for anything. As far as our other tackles on the right side, Mike Remmers, who we saw got exposed in the Super Bowl when he tried to be a left tackle. And then a couple of no-name guys. And then for guard, we had decent guards. We had Will Hernandez going into the second year. We had high hopes for him. Then next is Victor Salako. I don't even remember him. Nick Gates. Yeah, but he was, I think he was coming out undrafted. He didn't really have a lot to prove, but he ended up playing pretty well in 2019. Chad Slade, Kevin Zeitler. That was the best thing we had. We were so optimistic in our offensive line back then, and take a look at it now. We're not even confident in our offensive line now, and it's way more talented than this. Obviously, you spent a lot of assets, but John Jalapeno and Spencer Pulley at center. I'm like, give me a break. Those guys are below average at best. So our offensive line, we were confident in, and take a look at those names. Now, obviously, Andrew Thomas. We all know the offensive linemen. I don't really like our depth still, but much more improvement. We got younger. We got better. And then is that it? And then for QBs, Eli Manning, an aging guy. Rookie Daniel Jones, Alex Tanney. And remember this guy? Kyle Lauletta. Wow, what a name. And then let's move on to the defense. We're not doing special teams because Ryan Dixon's still on the team. Remember Algie Rosas? Like we were so like struck that he got in a car accident and he committed a crime, a hit and run, and then he ended up sucking last year, having to play punter and kicker for for Jaguars, and we ended up getting one of the best kickers in the league. So that was great. The defense was pretty talented. It's just that the coaching sucked. B.J. Hill, R.J. McIntosh. So you see the hogs here. You had a rookie Dexter Lawrence, Dalvin Tomlinson, but then you take a look at the depth. Olsen Pierre. Remember Chris Slayton, the 7th-round pick? John Jenkins. So, I mean, the defensive line wasn't that shabby. It's just the pass rush. Kareem Martin, Alec Ogletree, Tay Davis were the starters. And then Lorenzo Carter, we had hope for, but didn't really play that well in 2019. Pass rush. Marcus Golden had a double-digit sack year. He had a double-digit sack year, and we're like, oh, my God, he's the greatest thing. B.J. Goodson, who I think we traded later in the year. A rookie Ryan Connolly, who we had some hope with. O'Shane Zimenez. And then you had some guys like Nate Stupar and a couple of other names I'm not even recognizing. This is just the depth chart that I'm reading off of right now. And, the linebacking core, man. I mean, it's not that great now, but we have Blake. We have Reggie Ragland, and we have Tate Crowder. I take those three any single day of the week. And then we have some 7th-rounders. I'm not sure if it's coaching or ability. They're better than these guys. Like, the Carter Coughlin, and even, what's his name? I'm thinking, not TJ Brunson. But, like, a lot of those guys now are the Cam Brown, are better than these guys. Now, Cam Brown kind of disappointed me a little bit. But, they're still better than these guys, I think. Maybe it's just recency bias. And then the cornerback position, something we spent so many assets on, DeAndre Baker. Well, maybe you can debate whether or not he would have been a good player eventually, but he was a rookie. He sucked. Janoris Jenkins, you just get burned. He just get burned. No guy on our team feels like they're getting burned. Same thing with the rookie that we drafted. What was his name? Corey Ballantyne. Then we had Grant Haley, decent slot corner. Antonio Hamilton, more of a special teams guy. Him and Michael Thomas. Then our safeties, Antoine Bethea, Julian Love, as those guys. And then strong safety, Jabril Peppers, and Sean Chandler. So, I mean, Jabril Peppers, good player. Our free safety now, Julian Love in his 30, he's developed to be a really good player. He's a rookie back then, so he wasn't even good. He actually did have a pretty decent rookie year. But now we have Logan Ryan. We have Xavier McKinney, who really just showed up last year at the end of the season. And then you take a look at the cornerbacks. Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes. I mean, and then Adoree Jackson, James Bradbury, who hopefully I'm going to make a separate video about it. I don't know about him this year. I really don't. But he was a top 5 corner last year. I just don't, I'm not too sure about his second year. I'm kind of afraid that second year Giants cornerback, I'm kind of a little bit superstitious about that. Like the free agent big cornerback signing. But wow, the roster really changed, man. It really did. And we're better off for it. And hope you guys did enjoy this little roster breakdown. Let me know what you guys think. Are you surprised? Do you have any names that you guys remember that was like, oh, or you forgot? They're like, oh yeah, I remember that name, now that I mentioned it. But hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.